And welcome to AI Smart Labs again. And here's the news portion of the day. Last week and for the last couple months, we have been looking at our own internal workflows. Last week, we worked on our newsletter production process, and we realized that it had become too manual again because AI was not following instructions properly. And so we were kind of piecing it together again. So we needed to rewrite the instructions and reconsider how we're producing our newsletter. We're using AI for a lot of it, and it was still a bit fragmented. So when you're looking at these processes, it's good to audit every once in a while and see if there might be a more efficient way to do it and see if what you build is still working, because AI moves so quickly, as we all know. Like the last few months have been such a whirlwind again about with AI's capabilities. You might be able to do a lot more with AI and automation than you could in January. I mean, absolutely a lot more than you could in January. So it's a good time to revisit some of those workflows. I don't know if your business slows down in the summer, would be a good time to do it. And so we've been reviewing this quarter, we've been reviewing all of our workflows and trying to make them more efficient, more AI'd as much as possible. And we've been testing it on different tools. And so we'll do the same workflow on Claude, on Gemini, in Jasper, and see which one gives us the best results. Because we are lucky we have subscriptions to all the things, and we're a pretty small, nimble team. So we can switch to what's working right now, and we have all of the instructions documented. So it's not too hard to switch between tools for us, because some months one tool will work better than the other. And some days a model has a hiccup. Like we had a big hiccup with Jasper and what it was producing, and that often happens when there are updates. So it's always good to have that, have the option to switch to something else if it breaks. And that's just the nature of AI and how fast everything is moving. We need to be adaptable in that way. In news this week, we have a legal precedent set. OpenAI and Musk have been in this lawsuit for quite a while, and the court decisions touch on foundational questions about AI governance, corporate structure, and the fiduciary duties of AI developers. And the ruling clarifies the boundaries of how AI organizes or how AI organizations can operate and commercialize their technology moving forward. You can click the link in the newsletter or on the blog and read more about it for the specific rulings and the information there. The thing to note is rulings like this matter because they set the guardrails for the entire industry. And business owners need to understand that move fast and break things does not work. There's a lot of liability that you could encounter if that's what you're doing. And if you're building on top of these foundational models that are so new and so subject to change, you need to pay attention to these governance shifts, because if you're careless in your AI adoption, it can create tangible legal exposure for your company. And a lot of this is how your instructions are worded and if they're biased, and also the content that you're using and if you have the legal right to use it. Plagiarism also comes into play here too as a major issue. So something to keep an eye on is where your legal liabilities are. And as we've been reviewing workflows, we also review our AI use policy and make sure that that stays up to date as well. And that everybody on the team understands what we're using, why we would or would not use certain AI tools, and how we would or would not use tools based on privacy, security, and also our ownership of this content. Canva embeds its designs now in a design engine inside of Google Gemini. So Canva just launched a connected app for Google Gemini, which allows users of Gemini to generate and edit branded designs right in line in the chatbot in Gemini, instead of outputting flat images that require a lot of fixing. And this is really cool because it integrates the use of Canva's magic layers to create fully editable files. And this is a really, like, so for Canva not to be outpaced by general AI, a lot of people are using these general AI tools in place of design tools. And they know how important it is to integrate with the popular AI tools. They've been integrated with ChatGPT for a while, but the Canva integration inside of Gemini is even more design friendly. And if anybody does design even lightly, I mean, we all use Canva. We use Canva a little bit or a lot. Even my daughter uses Canva because there are just certain things that you need to do, like, and that we want to edit text on images and the layers in images. And so, if you're not looking to produce just generic content, you're still going to need some of these editors. And that's something that we're playing with because our team uses Canva for some of the content that we produce. And so we're really excited about it being inside Gemini because we use a Google Workspace. And if you think about the idea that Canva could go out of business because we can all produce our content right in line in a chat, they are doing this in a very smart way. So if you are producing tech, you need to make sure it's AI adapted. So adopted by the AI tools and the users of those AI tools and adaptable to being used inside of other platforms. Because those who aren't integrating could lose a significant amount of customers. Right now is a really big shift in tech. Here's a fun one. MIT research proves AI is creating jobs for young workers. A new study from MIT challenges the narrative that AI will simply replace the workforce. Researchers found that artificial intelligence implementation actually drives job creation specifically for young, skilled workers who can bridge the gap between technical tools and business strategy. The data shows that companies that are hiring talent to manage and integrate these new systems, and young people who are learning AI have an advantage. And they will be hired over those who don't. And every day we hear founders express fears about displacing their workforce. And then we also hear stories about upskilling the workforce. And as long as you are willing to learn new skills, learn how to use AI for what you do, then, you won't get fired and you won't have to fire your teams that have so much historical knowledge. You can upskill your teams and help them to do even more for your company, and even help them to train the rest of your organization. And it's just important that almost everyone on the planet needs an upskill right now so that you know how to use AI and know how to use it safely. And instead of just saving a few dollars, that can make the company you work for or your company a lot more dollars. This is a fun one, health article from, so AI is designing mini protein switches for targeted drugs. Researchers at the University of Washington use artificial intelligence to design mini protein switches that can precisely target drug delivery. These AI-generated proteins act like smart sensors in the body, only activating medications when they detect specific cellular conditions. And this breakthrough dramatically speeds up the timeline for safer and more effective treatments. These kind of treatments have been done for cancer patients and a variety of other rare diseases, including genetic diseases, when you can have these really hyper-targeted drugs, and even the production of drugs is sped up by AI. And this is fundamentally changing how medicine is developed and delivered. And if you think about this highly complex